I got a new lens for Christmas, and look at this freaking quality. Editing my passing through to say that I spent the whole January backpacking through Southeast Asia. It was a dream trip, and I knew I wasn't gonna have time to film, so I pre-filmed 4 videos before I went on the trip in December. But I was still working remote on my regular job while I was traveling, and so it got really hectic and I didn't have time to post. So that's why I spent a whole month without posting. I do not even remember the last time I did that, so just wanted to say I'm very sorry. I'm gonna try and post more this month in order to compensate. I hope you enjoyed these videos, and let's get into it. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my zine, your digital fashion magazine. I think with all the labels and information that's been shared about sustainability, it gets more and more intimidating to even talk about it unless you feel confident that you're doing 100 million things to be perfect at sustainability. I am not perfect at sustainability, but I have curated a collection of tips that are definitely very realistic and non-intimidating on having a more sustainable closet, being in the way that you care for your clothes so that they last longer, questions I ask myself before I make a purchase, a bunch of things that just help me stay grounded and help protect the planet and the future generations. I know this sounds a little bit cliche, but that's what I wanted to talk about today and possibly inspire some of you guys to be more careful about the way that you do your fashion. Okay, so my first tip is to gamify it. And this is a word I learned with one of my clients, which is to turn things into games, make it fun. So I have a little game I play with myself whenever I want to buy a new piece of clothing. And I see something, being it online or on a actual store. Sometimes I go to the mall with my mom, and we know that most stores on malls are not sustainable. What I'll do is I take a picture. It happens to me a lot of times, especially with fashion, because I love fashion. I will go somewhere and I will like so many things, and then I get this overwhelming feeling of there's so many things I want and I don't want to spend money on them, and I'm just like frustrated and sad when I leave the store because I'm like, there's so many things that were so cute in there, but I don't even remember all of them because it was just like an overstimulating experience. So now when I go shopping or I happen to come across something I like, I will take a picture, and then I have an album on my phone, which is called my wish list, where I put all of those pictures. And it doesn't matter if I'm actually planning on buying those things, I just want to put them there. Because sometimes just having the list and then coming back to it like a week later, you actually don't love all of the things. It was just, the stores are made to make you want to buy. So then I'll do 2 of those things. If the item that I liked and that I took a picture is from a sustainable brand or from a secondhand shop, I will wait. I'll try to wait at least a month until I buy it. If the item is from a non-sustainable, non-ethical first-hand shop, I will go on Depop, on Vinted, on ThredUp, on any online thrifting platform, and whenever I'm on the toilet or I'm watching a series at night and I kind of want to do something on my phone, instead of scrolling on social media, I will just hunt that thing down. And if you're not used to shopping secondhand, I know this is a lot of work, but it gets really addicting and it makes you appreciate the piece even more because it's almost like a treasure hunt. Having this wishlist folder also really helps me when I'm actually in-person thrifting. Number 3 are 2 questions that I ask myself when I'm buying something. Number 1 is I try to actually make outfits in my head with these pieces. I have a folder on my phone as well where I take pictures of my outfit so that when I don't know what to wear, I have like outfits that I like. And when I'm buying something, I go to that folder, I look at the clothes I have, and then I see how I would incorporate that item into my outfit. And then my second question that I ask is, if the shipping of the item took 2 months, would I still buy it? And that is an awesome question because sometimes we want something just for one season or one event. And if the shipping took 2 months, we wouldn't buy it. Okay, this tip is super basic, but in case you don't know, Google Images, the website of Google Images, has a feature where you can upload a photo and then see similar photos on the web. And this is useful if you see something on a website that is not sustainable and you want to try and get it from another store. You can just upload the picture of the item and then go to Google Shop, and then a bunch of similar items will appear. And if you're lucky, one of those items will be sold by a more sustainable brand. Okay, tip number 5 is something I'm constantly mentioning on this channel, and it is to make a group, a WhatsApp, a iMessage, a Facebook, an Instagram group, maybe even 2, one with family and one with friends, where you just send pictures of things you're about to buy. The other day, I was gonna buy this yellow necklace, and I sent a screenshot of the necklace to my mom, and I was like, Do you, by any chance, know someone that has something similar that doesn't wear it anymore? It turns out my grandma actually had a necklace like this. I know not everyone's styles matches their mom, dad, grandma's, whatever aesthetic, but it's always worth it. There have been so many trends before we were born that we're not even aware of. And then when you don't like something anymore, and maybe you are too lazy to sell it, send a picture of it to your friend and you can swap clothes. Tying into this, I did an event with a brand I was working with, which is Style Mine, where we all brought things we didn't wear and we swapped it. So next time you host a dinner at your house or you just do anything with your friends, tell your friends to bring 2 pieces of clothing that you don't wear anymore. I'm sure everyone has things in their closets that they don't wear anymore, and then you can just swap them. And it's so fun, and it literally costs no money and you'll get new clothes. Okay, my 6th tip is to really try to avoid throwing clothes in the trash. And when I say in the trash, I obviously mean in the actual trash, but also in the recycling bins. Obviously, it's so much better for you to throw the clothes into the recycling appropriate bins than into the normal organic trash. But I have a quote here that I took from a website that says, no matter how committed you are to thrifting, mending, and donating, many of your unwanted clothes that you donate to charity centers will sadly end up in landfills. The rise of fast fashion has meant many charities simply can't deal with the flood of poor quality clothes. Where possible, always try to give unwanted clothes which have reached the end of their life to clothing banks. Here, materials can either be donated or recycled into fabrics or other useful products. My 7th tip is something I've heard a lot of people talk about lately, and it makes a lot of sense. And I am not saying I haven't done this before, but I try to avoid it, which is if you want to buy something, but you want to buy there's only one model of that something that you want, then don't buy it. A few decades ago, when there was a trend, the trend would be something general, like skinny jeans or black boots or like flats, but it wasn't a specific brand and type of flats. Nowadays, there are so many trends that aren't a concept but an actual product from a specific brand, and then AliExpress and Amazon make dupes, and then everyone has that one specific thing. Example, the biker boots. When biker boots became trendy, I was seeing this biker boot, this specific model everywhere on multiple stores, and you can't even tell the difference. And I love them, but I knew that it would just be so much easier for me to get sick of them because a lot more people would buy them, I would see them a lot more often, and they would more easily be associated to this season. While if I got a pair of black boots that were the same length, the same platform size, but a tiny different, it would probably last longer in my closet because they just weren't that specific winter 2023 boot that everyone was wearing. Another example are Uggs. I really like the look of the little Uggs, but I also know that it's a bit of a micro trend. So when I went thrifting, I looked for comfy, furry, brown shoes, and I found these, which I know aren't everyone's cup of tea, but they kind of give me the same look. They give me a very slippery outside, comfy, fuzzy shoe look without being the same exact boot everyone's buying that people are going to get tired of and it's probably not going to be trendy next year. So if you want something and it's like from a specific brand and a specific model, ask yourself if this was from a different brand or if this was a little bit different, would I still want it? Tip number 8 is super quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, and I know my generation, including me, has very poor habits when it comes to this, but when you like something and it breaks, fix it instead of buying something new. I know that it sounds frustrating to maybe spend almost as much money as you would on a new thing to fix your thing, because nowadays fixing shoes or jackets or pants is pretty expensive compared to what you can get a new item for, but it's so much better for the environment and you're giving someone a job. Okay, my 9th tip or section is all about taking better care of your clothes so that they last longer. So here are some things that I also learned while researching for this video that we can do to make our clothes last longer. Number 1, mind-blowing tip, wash your clothes less. I don't need to be washing my jeans every week. I don't need to be washing a sweater I wore twice. Wash your clothes less. You should also be using cold water programs. Another factor that I think we all know of but is always worth mentioning is don't put your washing machine washing unless it's filled up. This is something I am very much not good at, but people also recommend we don't use fabric softeners, and then using eco detergents. Pause for blowing out my nose, very sorry. This is something that I'm not good at, using eco detergents, but it is a goal of mine for 2024. I want to actually do some research, see what brands and how this whole thing works, because I had no idea until maybe a few months ago how much, laundry detergents polluted water and how hard it is to then clean up the water afterwards. Some tips I also quoted from a website are: try using fabric refreshener sprays and add drawer liners to revitalize stale clothes. Re-waterproof your old jackets or spray your suedes. Spend a little bit more on specialist cleaning products that protect your clothes and ideally the environment. And buy yourself a stain removal pen to get rid of stains before they spoil on your clothes. This way, you don't have to wash the full piece of clothing. You can just take the little stain. Someone also recommended microfiber filters. Microfibers are tiny plastic particles that synthetic clothes shed as they squeeze and turn in the washing machine. Wastewater treatment plants don't capture them, so they eventually end up in our oceans and soils, causing great harm to the environment and our own health. So installing a microfiber filter on our washing machine can be very helpful. I feel like Americans have this huge habit of using dryers. Even if they live in a sunny city, start drying your clothes outside or even on your kitchen if there's sun there. There's no need to be using dryers if there's sun. Okay, tip number 10 is a little bit of an overview of aspects that you should have in mind when you're searching for sustainable brands, because there's so many aspects that make something sustainable that we don't even think about. Examples are the dyes and inks that they use, the amount of CO2 emissions that their company produces, where they make their clothes, how their employees are treated, if they test on animals. And another thing you should have in consideration when you're buying jewelry is if they use diamonds. Are the diamonds mined or are they lab grown? Now let's talk about some materials. Here are materials that you should avoid: polyester, acrylic, conventional cotton, which is like normal cotton, viscose or rayon, and nylon. And some of the best materials that you can get are recycled materials: recycled cotton, linen, bamboo, flax, jute, silk, wool, organic hemp, organic linen, tencel, and econil. Organic cotton generally requires less water, energy, and no chemicals compared to regular cotton, and usually companies that use organic cotton will have a better reputation at paying fair wages. Tencel is arguably one of the most sustainable fabrics out there, produced through green energy with virtually no waste. So here's some fun facts for y'all. And last but not least, if you're not able to buy something secondhand and you want some ideas on sustainable brands to buy from, I'm going to leave a bunch of names here on screen that a content creator I follow that I really like shares on her pages. And then this video is not sponsored, but a sustainable jewelry brand that I really like is Ana Luisa. So I know this video was quite long. I hope that I was helpful. Please let me know what questions you ask yourself before making a purchase and what other tricks you have for making your closet more sustainable. Let's make 2024 a year where when we buy something new, we think about it a little bit more, just like I'm gonna do once my laundry detergent finishes. I'm not gonna go right to the supermarket and buy the cheapest one. I'm gonna make some research, see what the actual impact is, and try to make a more careful purchase. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram. I have a Spotify playlist with all the music I link in my videos in case you want to check that out. And that's all for today. Bye!